bones of a CRM. It should be a list of people that are interested in your business.
Fighting for your life, I feel like, to get to that next level.
A lot of people think email's dead, but in business, email's very, very important.
You maybe don't see the results that you want as fast as you'd like them.
Welcome back to the Clout podcast. It is me, Montana, and today I'm joined with Logan and Blake, and we are talking about something super exciting that we are launching in April, our CRM. But first, I had to learn what a CRM was.
CRM is client relationship management, and a CRM is for people that already know you, that you do business with, as well as people that you want to do business with. I'm sure you're part of like newsletters. Do you get like newsletters from like your favorite places to shop and stuff like that? That's a CRM at a high level for that company. That's what you see. That's what the consumer or the client would see on their end. And it's essentially keeping them engaged and interested in the brand. That's the simplest and shortest thing to kind of say what a CRM is. But on the back end, it's so powerful because there's a lot of data that goes into, what guides a company into making certain decisions to sell a product or do certain things. So that's what a CRM is, essentially.
I love that. And I think it's cool that you guys built your own and that you guys are really excited about launching it in April. And I'm really excited to continue to learn more about it and see how it helps all of the clients that you guys already have and serve. But like kind of what led to wanting to start this? Like what are some of the frustrations? Because you guys have obviously like ran this business, like had a bunch of CRMs I'm sure you've used in the past. Like what is a big frustration you've had which made you pivot to wanting to start your own?
Yeah. So to start our business out, we actually used Mailchimp. Mailchimp is an email focused CRM. Yeah, something there.
I know that one. I have that from when I've sold tickets to stuff.
A CRM is your address book. A CRM is your Instagram followers. There's many ways this can look, it's not necessarily has to be some sort of software that is labeled a CRM. It's many different things, but ultimately a CRM is going to lead potential clients or people that might be interested in your brand to do business with you. So I know people that use their Instagram to earn business and they're using that as their CRM and they're making a lot of money. So it's not necessarily like has to be some sort of complex software, but building a CRM that's very useful for a business, that's where it gets interesting, So there's a lot of different CRMs out there. You could think like Salesforce, tallest building in San Francisco, and they have many other, offices all around the world probably. And there's a lot of CRMs that are built for like very niche businesses, right? A CRM for real estate agents, a CRM for tax accountants, a CRM for lawyers, whatever. But the difference on which each one of those CRMs is used for each like industry is the capabilities of how a business wants to connect with their clients, whether it's over social media, whether it's over email, whether it's over educational content, blogs, whatever. But yeah, it's unique to each business. And that's sort of kind of what got our interest in it, is to create something very, very useful for real estate photography. And we're like, whoa, like this is cool. This helped our business out so much. Why can't we just create another product like this and sell it to our clients in real estate? That's kind of our journey so far.
What was a frustrating part? Was it because something like that didn't exist for your industry?
I think the way we'd have to manually enter these different emails and different things that were being sent out was it was very time consuming. And Logan can attest to that. He would spend hours a day, sometimes 2 times, 3 times a week, drafting these emails through Mailchimp. And you get burnout quickly. You maybe don't see the results that you want as fast as you'd like them. But I think that was one focus that really helped push us into this like more funnel type system of the CRM to try to automate our delivery process, systemize different strategies in terms of how we outreach and different things like that. I think Logan could probably touch on it, but I think that's probably the first point that really got us to where we are now regarding how it started.
Absolutely. That's a good point. It's really the pain points of doing something over and over again and then just thinking like, how can I make a system for this? And a CRM has a ton of useful systems that you should be able to follow. So when you think of a CRM, it's not just emails, it's not just text messages. The modern day CRM that we see has a lot of different tools embedded in it. And I mean, you guys probably have a ton of different subscriptions to a ton of different softwares. Well, powerful CRM should be able to eliminate and realistically consolidate your software stack that you use, right? Software stack is essentially the collection of different technologies you use, and bouncing from, Calendly for bookings to Mailchimp to this, you kind of have to use different programs, Zapier, and different products to connect it all together. And it's complex for somebody who's not like tech savvy. So I would say like the biggest pain point is doing things repeatedly over and over again and using a ton of different softwares to try and drive your business. And that's sort of what led us into creating, the CRM that we've been working on for quite some time now.
Yeah. I also think, Logan, you brought up kind of a good point in terms of business. There are a lot of photographers that are solopreneurs, and maybe they have an older method of CRM, but a lot of pain points, in my opinion. For example, yesterday I was doing some cold outreach. It wasn't necessarily in our CRM yet. It was just email one of, 5 that I'd eventually send out, maybe 3 texts that I'd like to send out. But the nice thing about the CRM is once you have it fully functional, you can automate all of these steps to the point where you just kind of plug and play, where, in 3 days, I'm going to have to follow up and draft a whole new email for that pain point, which is taking time and a lot of time to get to that next email. And then, 2 days later, I'm gonna have to figure out what the third email looks like. And then the next day I'm gonna figure out what the text looks like. And, the CRM in our case is already formatted correctly to the point where all we have to do is quite literally plug and play. And, these automations are kind of sent out. And that's a higher level of what it looks like for us. But some of these individual photographers, those are the pain points that they're dealing with daily, weekly, in terms of scaling and trying to get to, the next thing for them.
Yeah, I think too, when you like work just for yourself, like the solopreneur, like you want so hard to get to that next like level, but you're also just like kind of just like fighting for your life, I feel like, to get to that next level.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's where something like this comes helpful.
Well, yeah, because when you're a solopreneur, you can keep, maybe 20 conversations going on in your head. But after that, you're like, holy cow, I need to start writing things down. I mean, that's the first version of a CRM is pen and paper, but how to take it up to the next level is, using that software. And I kind of want to talk about how we first integrated our CRM to our business, right? So first and foremost, we have a company phone number that's tied to our CRM now, but our first 4 years in business, I used my personal phone number. And I was like, okay, I'll take care of, the phone calls as they come in. And one problem with that was it was a out of area code phone number. And when we were starting to target new businesses in a different area code, it looked like we were out of town company. So we wanted to switch up the phone number to be, coming from, or, so when someone's calling, they're like, hey, this is a local company. So that was one thing that we were able to fix. But another thing is like myself, I like to get out of town, go have fun and be MIA for a few days. But if my phone is the only one that is like the lifeline of that business, the business is waiting for me to answer that phone. So bring you to modern day. So Blake, who manages our incoming calls and most of our client relations, he was able to take off, a week in Hawaii. And I was able to just log into the CRM and take over all those conversations. So he didn't have to worry about those things when he was gone. So that's one powerful thing. And that's just the phone number, right? But, another thing that CRM is really powerful for is managing your pipeline of business. So you're having all these conversations with new people trying to land new deals. How do you kind of know what business is coming in? So a lot of solopreneurs or solo agents, they're kind of just waiting for that phone to ring and that next deal to come in. Whereas a pipeline kind of gives you a better idea of what business is about to come in. So that way you have a better idea and can kind of predict your income, can predict decisions that you can make and things like that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You start out with emails for nurturing your business for people that, might be interested. Maybe they fill out a form. Maybe they go to an open house and sign into the, open house sign-in sheet. That information should go into your CRM. And then if you have a CRM that works very well, it should send off like a drip campaign, which as soon as they sign in, you put their information in and it'll say, hey, thank you for visiting our open house. How can I help you in your buying journey? And then it kind of nurtures them day, over week, month, sometimes even years, until finally that person like, wow, this person stayed in contact with me for years. I'm ready to, do a deal with them. So it's kind of crazy, but there's so much involved with it, right? So, I'll kind of go deeper into what our CRM has and the full capabilities that will be available that make us a bit different from, the other CRMs as well.
No, it's a very powerful tool. And I mean, I'm still learning a lot about it currently. And I get my biggest avenue of being exposed to this prior to where I'm at currently in the business is shopping, different ads like Logan hit or touched on, you know, Apple, here's our newest product, or Gymshark, check out our newest line of products, or whatever, so.
How do you keep them interested, and you have to, a CRM should have people in there that are interested. So those are the people you hit a little bit harder, right? So as far as like a social media ad goes, Apple might send, make an advertisement. It's like, this is our new iPhone, right? Or something of that nature, right? But it's kind of creating buzz, creating interest. And then when you click on it, that's when the data is collected and sends it to your CRM. And the CRM's like, hey, this person's interested. They clicked on it. Now give them a different message, right? Try and sell them, tell them the price, tell them more benefits, send them an email about it. So that would be like an example for Apple. But, definitely, I think the bare bones of a CRM, it should be a list of people that are interested in your business. That's it. Just a database, just a place to store this data. I would say someone would probably pay like, I don't know, $20 a month just for a place to store this data and do nothing with it, because people need to organize and store this data. You could do it on like Google Sheets for free, but I mean, usually CRMs could, have a more automated way of inputting that new data in. So when a new, interested client, potential client, someone who's interested in your business can be inputted into there, right? So, with that database, then you think of what's the next capability. Hey, email, right? Now, a lot of people think email's dead, but in business, email's very, very important. So, how can you email these people? You think, okay, plain text email. Hey guys, happy Thanksgiving from me to you, da, 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 da. It could be as simple as that to the 200 people that know you, that are interested in your business. And then taking it to the next level would be having a content-rich email that has links that kind of send them to, the next stage of their buyer's journey or, transaction. So, there's a lot of different things to do. And, with 6 years of experience working with a lot of different softwares, we're super excited to put all our knowledge into one platform.
I think I'm glad you brought that up again, because that's what I was about to bring it up to, because when I think about what I do, like I have a different app for how I sell this, or a different app for how I edit this. Like I have so many different apps for so many different things that if everything could just be streamlined, and you don't even realize, like you think like, oh, well, this one's only $5 a month, or this one's only $7. Like it starts to like add up to so much. And some are more like 50, like they all start to add up, but to have everything like streamlined. And I think that's something you guys do in all parts of your business. Like you started just with taking pictures. Now we're doing like social media. Now we're doing the CRM. So like you want to keep everything in-house. And what I have found out just from the people that we are working with now on the social media on my side, they like it that everything's in-house, because they know they can come and talk to all of us at any time about anything, and we can all figure it out.
100%. I think that's the best thing is when you go to like a one-stop shop. It's just easier to keep everything in one place. You can easily contact us about this, and we could contact a photographer about that and put it into this and that. So we're trying to tie it all together with all the services we launch.
So we've talked a lot on this episode about how it can help like the solopreneur and stuff like that. But like you said, you're talking to brokerages. Like on the higher level, how does this help a whole brokerage?
Absolutely. So when you look at a brokerage, usually a brokerage will have a few different platforms and services and softwares that you'll be subscribed to when you join a specific company or team. So for a brokerage, it's important that one, all of the agents have a CRM. They all need one. Now, the different capabilities of that CRM are determined on, what the broker is willing to provide. Usually the low-cost brokers don't offer much to the agents because they're not taking much of a cut from their commission. But then you see some of the more full service traditional brokerages where, let's say, they're on like a 75-25 split with their agents, right? So if an agent makes 100 grand, 25,000 goes to the brokerage. Well, why would you pay that brokerage $25,000? They better be helping you out and making your life easier or getting you more business. So that's when you would think that they would provide you with some really powerful tools to keep growing your business and make your life easier. So that's that. So I'm going into brokerages and presenting the different options that our CRM can offer them. Some of the main things that these brokers are liking is the ability to have a really cool, sleek, modern agent website for each agent. A lot of brokerages will have like agent websites, but they're just like not really customized nice to the individual agent's liking. So a lot of agents will go out to do like a third party or do their own investment to build a website and use a company like Luxury Presence, right? So Luxury Presence, they'll sell a custom website and a set of tools on the back end, some sort of dashboard to manage the website, and they'll pay thousands of dollars per month. So I'm like, dang, like what? Why are you guys spending that much money, right? And I hope this is making you more money than you're spending. What's the ROI? So, there's definitely a market for it. But I think that the different brokers that are taking those high commission cuts should be offering, all of these things in house and having a really good deal with a team like ours to have, custom websites for all of their agents, right? And websites that are tied into their CRM. So when someone's on their website trying to figure out what's my home worth, right? And they have like a form they fill out, it automatically feeds into the CRM and it starts firing things off automatically. So there's those sorts of things. Nowadays, open houses are done kind of different than they were in the past. In the past, it was like, hey, sign your name, put your email and a phone number here, and a checkbox, do you have an agent or not? Nowadays, it's like, you can have an iPad at your open house and they sign into the iPad. And as soon as they put in their email, it automatically fires them an email saying, welcome to this home, gives them all the information on it. And it's like fully automated through a CRM. So if I was paying 25% of my commission to my broker, I'd be like, hey, I want this tool, right? So there's stuff like that, and then you could figure out different checklists as well. So when you are in a transaction, you have a seller that signed the contract and they're selling, you have a checklist of different things you could do. So as soon as you drop that new project in there as like just signed agreement, then it should say, hey, order photography, order your inspections, make flyers, and do all these things. But usually in your head, you just remember every time, like, I got to do this, I got to do this. But we can make a system on the CRM where it's just a checklist and you're like, okay, that's done, right? Or assign it to people within the CRM, like, hey, marketing person, do the flyer for me, and it really just takes out all of the little nuances of work and lets you focus on what you should be doing, which is building relationships with people and securing your next deal.
Give this man a TED talk. Like, I feel like I could make a CRM now. Like, I'm like, not make it, but at least I know now what it is for sure.
Yeah. And ultimately, it's solving problems. That's what it is. It's solving problems with a easily repeatable process that can be automated and can be done at a very high level. Like if you're, texting someone good morning every single day, right? Good morning, right? Good morning. And then day 5, you forget. The CRM's not going to forget. And you could train the CRM how to say it nicely different every morning using powerful tools like GPT or something. So that's like an example of saying a good morning text, but you could do that within your business. There's so many things you could do. And I think the one thing that we're solving that's really going to help agents out is consolidating their subscriptions, right? You have a subscription to Calendly, you have your subscription to some sort of social media posting, you have your subscription to your website provider, you have your subscription to your email, marketing provider, Mailchimp or whatnot. And you're like, at the end of the day, you're like, man, I'm spending, $1,000 a month. Well, why don't I spend $500 a month and bring everything into the same platform? So I think that's going to be the main thing we solve where people are like, I love it, and it's built specifically for real estate agents.
Blake, how involved were you in this process? Because I know, like, you are in Idaho and you're doing more of that, like, and we've talked about some of the features that like you use and stuff, but like how involved in this process were you?
Yeah, in the beginning, it was kind of a lot of internal conversations I had. And within that year of business, it got to the point where I was talking to Nate and Logan. I said, there's a lot of things that are moving and I can't keep track of everything. How can we systemize this better? How can I better use my time to maybe do the back end of the deal as opposed to the full end of the deal? So within, that year of business, it was a lot of, kind of full circle now. It started off pen and paper, a lot of internal text and calls, to the point where I was writing a lot of things down and we would see it at a higher level, but it wasn't necessarily in the CRM quite yet. It would be like the CRM at the time, not like the CRM. And over the last like 5 months, it's been a lot more systematic and automated, to the point where, you just kind of have to find that point of contact, nourish that lead or conversation, and then put them into that respective group. So I really think it's really, it's 180 since where it was.
Blake, so the platform that we're building for real estate agents, we obviously use for Clout as well. Let's talk about what you like most with the CRM. How do you use it most, and how has it changed the way that your day-to-day looks?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I think having conversations available to everyone is nice. You touched on that prior to, if someone takes time off, you can pick up where that person left off without having to, call back and forth to get all the details. I think my day-to-day has also drastically increased in terms of the communication standpoint from all levels of the business, from the beginning to the end. It's a lot more, well, obviously systemized, but there's a lot more follow-up going up. There's a lot more chatter about how they heard about us. There's just these things that you expect to know after the fact, but it's not always the case. So, people leaving reviews, we don't really have to manually reach out to those people. This CRM is going to help.
Blake, why don't you just go through the journey from when someone first calls to when they book to when we set up the shoot, and how much systems and how much like things are involved with that? Talk about it all. Talk about Beatrice.
Wait, who's Beatrice?
It's his assistant.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Blake has an assistant?
I do. Yeah, Beatrice. So there's this new tool that we're implementing, and she's currently in the training stage, but she is our AI assistant who can distinguish what the customer journey can look like. So starting from incoming call, she'll pick up if I'm on the other line or what have you, and she'll guide them through what they're looking for. And there's kind of two routes within that. Either they want to talk to someone or they can book with her. If they want to talk to someone, then she'll route it to me, and then I'll pick up from where she left off. But if they end up going through the whole first part of her talking, they can book with her online. And it will prompt her to send the client the service to book online. And then from there, I'll just go in and take care of the booking and touch base. And that's with Beatrice. But on the normal side of these calls, it's a lot of incoming calls that I take, and it's essentially, hey, it's mostly a current client, but there are new incoming clients, but we'll just keep it with current clients. We'll call and usually want to talk to someone, and we're super personable with our relationships with all of our clients. And I think that's another step up to our service that we offer. And they'll, hey, I have this shoot coming up in San Francisco, Boise, Sacramento. Are you able to service on this day? And, I'm looking at our calendar. I'm trying to figure out the logistics of the shoot. They have some suggestions on maybe that type of marketing. Maybe they want a photo and video. Usually I'll have some insight on the territory to provide, maybe drone photos will be will be good in this area, or some type of additional service that might help elevate their listing.
What you're trying to say is you get them booked, and once they book, that's when the system starts firing off, and that's when they get notified, hey, we're on schedule for today, and it pretty much automates all that. So, but go on. So once someone books, they get put onto our project management pipeline. And then after that, talk about the follow up and how that looks and how, if that was a good experience, we could send them into getting a review and that stuff.
Yeah, so everything was great at the shoot. They'll let you know. We'll fire off a text message saying, hey, we delivered the project. Let me know if there's any revisions. That'll be automated, and then they'll get sent into a revision link if they need one. That way our editors can see it all in one place. So I don't even have to look at it at the time it's sent. Our team will know and we're all notified. And then if there isn't a revision, then there'll be an opportunity for follow-up. And within that follow-up of the revisions, there's also one that is, how did everything turn out? And usually they respond, oh, everything was great. Thank you so much. Look forward to the next one. And then from there, I'll go into our CRM and I'll push the next stage, which would be a review. And then from there, it's a text, or I believe it's an email, and it's, hey, would you mind leaving a review? We'd love to give you a review in return. And we're just trying to streamline the follow-up process within our CRM to help further, just let everyone know what we do, what we offer, and how we operate. And I think it's super important because everyone likes referrals, and that's one of our biggest things we pride ourselves on is referral business.
And I would say before we had the system like implemented, I would say you could probably manage maybe like 50 jobs per month, 50 shoots, and just do it in your head and put it on a paper. But to do it consistently where you're following up right after the fact, right? So we have an automation in there as well that will say, hey, do you have everything you need? Just want to check in, right? And that's a touch point that is like customer service, right? And when we do that text, it looks like it's coming directly from Blake, but it's an automation. But regardless, if they need anything, then it'll fall on our plate and we can handle that. So it's just kind of coming up with a bunch of systems to give the customer, potential customer, the best experience possible.
I think the reason that it's so easy for y'all to talk about it, and which will make it easy for y'all to sell it, is because you guys were the guinea pigs on yourself. So like you can talk about it so much and you can just have a full TED talk about it because you used it, you created it, and you know how it works and it helps you and you see how much it's helped you and you just like want to give it to other people too.
Yeah. So let's talk about Beatrice, right? So we have a problem that is essentially our phone rings and Blake would normally answer. However, if Blake is on the phone with someone else or doing something where he can't answer and someone's calling and they want to book a shoot, if they don't get a hold of us, there's a good chance they're probably going to call the next person. So what happens is instead of going to voicemail, Beatrice picks up. She's an AI bot and she has a very realistic voice too. She answers the phone by saying, hi, my name is Beatrice. I'm an AI agent that can help you with anything you're looking to do. How can I help you today? And someone would say, I'd like to book a photo shoot. And she'd say, okay, great. Can we start with your first and last name? First and last name captured. Okay, what's your email address? Email address captured. After that, okay, what date are you wanting to book the photo shoot? I'm looking for next Monday at 2 p.m. Okay, great. What services are you wanting to book? Well, I don't know. What are your services like? Well, we have a range of services from this, that, and knows it so well, knows it better than us because she's programmed to know the answers. And if someone, is frustrated on the call and says, I need to talk to someone, she goes, okay, sorry for your frustration. Let me try and connect you with Blake. And it'll try and send it over to Blake or transfer it over to one of us. But ultimately, it's trying to get all the right information. So say if a client is on the go and we had just did a photo shoot yesterday, she sees the photos and it's like, oh man, I really want to Photoshop that trash can out of there. She calls, Blake doesn't answer. She'll say, hey, how can I help you today? Hey, I need to do a revision on yesterday's photo shoot. Okay, great. What's the address? What edit would you like? I want to remove the trash can from the front yard. Okay, great. What I'm going to do is put this, send this over to our editing team. So it doesn't even need to touch Blake. It'll just go straight to the editing team and it'll be quick as possible. If Blake were to answer the phone, it's sad, but Blake would have to probably pick something up and manually write something down and then try and get information and then send it to the editing team. So it's trying to get all of these easily repeatable inquiries solved, which is booking a shoot, handling a revision, canceling a shoot, or speaking to a manager. So that's Beatrice, and we chose that name because that was we thought it was cool. It was I don't know, a cute name.
Okay, so what was the process of naming your bot?
No process in particular. There was like a handful of different voices, and I was like, this one sounds like Beatrice. So we just said Beatrice. It wasn't that hard.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if she tries to eat us.
And for example, we're on this podcast, right? And Blake's on the podcast. We got an email. I just got notified that she answered a call for Blake while Blake was on this podcast. So you can see how like it's not like he's not by his phone. It's like he's busy working on something or doing something. So it's really cool that we could capture that business. Sometimes we'll try and call them back if they left a voicemail or if they didn't, and there will be no answer. So it's really important to capture that business.
Wait, that's so cool. I love Beatrice. She sounds cute. So if you had to sum up this CRM in one word, what word would you come up with?
Man, I could probably come up with a phrase.
I will accept a phrase.
I would say something like, if it's simple as possible, all in one.
I like that.
I would say, in terms of one word, I would use simplistic.
Those are great words, guys.
What about you? I know this is new to you, but what would you say?
And you know what I would say as the social media coordinator over here? You know what I would say? It sounds like a vibe. I can get behind it. It's giving aura. That's what the kids are saying now. It's giving positive aura.
Yeah. I don't know. Have you guys noticed like on Netflix, like the type of like movies and videos that are coming out are like super Gen Z and like kind of focus on the things that they like and stuff?
Can you give an example?
Okay, so I put on this one the other night, and it was like about this 24-year-old that is trying to buy a villa for $1 in Europe.
Wait, I watched that one too. I thought it was so good.
I turned it off in like 20 minutes because it was just like, the dad was trying to be logical, and the daughter's like, I can do it, and this and that. And like, I don't know, it just kind of gave me Gen Z vibes, kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
They end up making it a cooking school. The dad moves to Italy. She ends up going to Rome to be an interior designer, and they heal their relationship and overcome the mom dying.
Wow. See, I missed all that. See, I just need to have an open eye, I guess.
Logan's very close-minded, if you couldn't tell, huh?
I'm closed-minded to Gen Z.
Which is so crazy because you are literally, you make an app, you're making a CRM, you are such a techie, like you talk about Beatrice, you are Gen Z.
I think Gen Z is kind of became like a different phrase that people use. Like, I think, I like to think I'm a millennial, but when I see a millennial that was born in the head end of those years, I'm like, no way. Like, these guys are friggin' boomers. Like, these guys are old. I'll run laps on them. But when it comes to me being a tail end of millennial and the head end of Gen Z, I think of Gen Z as the tail end of Gen Z, which is not the head, So I think that, I don't know, like someone who's, I think millennial ends at like 1995 or something like that. And then it's what?
Gen X. Maybe you're like, I don't know, but I think we should be worried about the kids that are like 10 right now, 10 or 11, because those are the first iPad babies, like the first iPad babies. And my nephew's one of them. I think we should worry about the iPad babies.
I think we should worry about them in two different ways. One, they're going to run laps on us. They're going to be so intelligent, so smart, and just know how to use technology far better than all of us, but they're going to be impatient as heck. So we have that on them. But on the other end, then there's just the people that have not really built strong skills within because they've relied so heavily on, just technology. So I think you're going to have people that come from that generation that are just incredibly intelligent and very, very, I wouldn't say just driven, but can get things done. And then there's going to be people that are just like sideliners, and you don't want to be a sideliner.
I love it. It is fascinating to me how techie you guys are with all this like automation, Beatrice, the CRM, all this stuff that's automated. But you guys are also like unplug a lot. And I think that's a balance that generation doesn't have.
I remember dial-up internet, when the internet, you'd go on and you'd have to make that weird calling phone sound thing to get on the internet. Right. And I think to be able to live through that time and, riding a bike in the neighborhood and going outside was, I think we were like the very, very tail end of a majority of kids that grew up that way. Right. And so I think that, being able to get away from my phone and unplugging is such a blessing, where some people are inseparable from the internet and their friends online and technology. So
I fully believe in I like my goal for 2025 is to like do more things where I forget I had a phone, because I forgot I had a phone when I was like on the trip. Like I was just not even thinking about it, and it was so great. It was so amazing. I was like, I kept losing it throughout, like, because I have the work phone and then that, and I just kept losing it. And I was like, this is great. I want to do more things where I lose my phone.
I've got something for you. Good technology should keep you away from your phone. Good technology should allow you to focus more on the things that you love and enjoy in life. Good technology. And that's exactly what the CRM is, to stop you from doing all of these mundane tasks and trying to use other types of software, and allow you to focus on things that you'd rather be doing, like shaking hands and meeting people in person, or going on a vacation in Hawaii and not being able to worry about your business because it's still running. See, now that's good technology.
So, what is something that people can look forward to or be thinking about as this is launching? Like, what can people be thinking about?
So as we launch this for the real estate community and the real estate agents, what you can expect is an all-in-one platform to use for your business, to manage your deals, to manage your marketing, to managing your brand presence online, all of that stuff. So, leading up to it, it's we're going to have a lot of different demonstrations and webinars and different things that will kind of let you take a deep dive into what it's actually like, and kind of show you what it looks like underneath the hood. So you'll be able to do that. And I believe we're going to include a free trial as well. So for those of you that don't want to commit to a new subscription but want to see the value and power that the CRM has, you'll be able to do that. And we'll give you a seamless process, if you do have a current CRM, to export your data and all of your information into a new one, and delete all of those repeatable subscriptions you have that you hardly use, that are the $5, $10, $15, $20 a month, and try and consolidate into one CRM. So that's what I would look forward to. And, we'll be there to help you set it up and to help you learn how to use it. And unfortunately, Nate is not on this podcast, but Nate is a genius when it comes to systems and the different tools we have that we're building. So I know Nate is going to be very active within our community that we build online. So questions or additions to the platform, if you want to learn more of how to do different things, he'll be there always to help you out and get things set up to help run your business smoothly.
Do you have anything that you think people should be excited for and looking forward to about the CRM, Blake, in the next couple of weeks as we get ready for the launch?
Honestly, I think what Logan said, he knows a little bit more about it than I do in terms of what the agent's going to see. So I think the biggest thing would be just be open to trying something new.
That is a wrap on our episode about the CRM. If you are interested, you want to learn more, make sure you're following, make sure you're subscribed, and drop a comment of what's your biggest challenge with your current CRM.